Pablo versus El Chapo, who was the bigger kingpin. Kings of the mafia, drug trafficking, and people's fear are both in different parts of the world. But if they were to meet, surely only one would come out standing. Sure, if it was a rap battle, the situation would be more epic. In fact, I think this is 1,000 times better. What could be more epic than two legends pitting their might against each other? El Chapo Guzmán versus Pablo Escobar. We're going to delve into a bit of their history and trajectory, so stick around for the end and discover one of the most fascinating stories in drug trafficking. The origins of two legends in the world of drug trafficking intertwine at the roots of their humble beginnings. In a mountainous corner of Antioquia, Colombia, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1, 1949. His home, far from opulence, reverberated with the hard work of a schoolteacher mother and cattle rancher father. Among 7 children, Escobar carved his way into a life that, while modest, lacked comforts. From an early age, however, the shadow of drugs loomed over his surroundings. Marijuana, at first a simple pleasure, soon sparked a business vision in him. Observing American tourists, he understood the lucrative potential of a white powder that dominated Colombia. Thus began his journey to the top of the drug trafficking world. In an equally humble corner of Sinaloa, Mexico, another titan was emerging, Joaquin Archivaldo Guzmán, known as El Chapo. Born on April 4, 1957, in the rural community of La Tuna Badiraguado, the young Guzmán knew nothing of opulence. While his father made a living as a cattle rancher, Joaquin learned the ways of the street, selling oranges with entrepreneurial cunning. But stability soon faded, and at the age of 15, El Chapo was forced to confront the harsh realities of the world. Abandoning agriculture, he plunged into the marijuana business, following in the footsteps of Escobar in his younger years. This was just the prologue to his rise to the top of the illegal drug trade. 2 men, 2 destinies, a world of crime, and unbridled ambition. The life of El Chapo Guzmán is a complex mix of violence, cunning, and a relentless rise to power. From his early days in the dark world of Mexican drug trafficking, El Chapo forged his way to the top with relentless determination. In the 1970s, while many were still finding their place in the world, he was already weaving his network in the circles of the drug cartels. Under the tutelage of notorious bosses like L.G. Aero Palma and Miguel Angel F. Lix Gallardo, El Chapo proved to be a man of limitless resources and calculated cruelty. Overseeing the transport of drugs from the arid mountains of the Sierra Madre to the bustling streets near the U.S. border, his influence spread rapidly. His reputation grew as a relentless shadow that fell on those who dared challenge his authority. As the decades passed, El Chapo rose above the ruins of his fallen rivals. His rise to leadership of the Sinaloa cartel was not without obstacles, marked by betrayal, violent confrontations, and Chapo's relentless determination to secure his place at the top of the drug trafficking world. Meanwhile, in the intimate sphere of his life, Pablo Escobar was weaving an equally intricate tapestry. In 1975, he married Maria Victoria in Vallejo, a union that, though marked by his own infidelities, would endure through the ups and downs of his tumultuous existence. With 2 children, Juan Pablo and Manuela, the Escobar family was a paradox of stability and chaos, reflecting the dual struggle between his personal life and his ever-expanding criminal empire. Chapo Guzmán's personal life, in stark contrast to Escobar's, unfolded as a soap opera drama of love, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of power. In 1977, he married Alejandrina Maria Salazar Hernández and established a home in Jesús María, Sinaloa, where they welcomed 3 children. But Chapo's heart was nomadic, wandering between the dangerous alleys of his business and the dark recesses of his desires. Over time, his affections shifted to Estela Pea, a bank teller from Nayarit, with whom he shared a complex bond born of passion and compulsion. And so Chapo embarked on a series of tumultuous unions, tying his fate to that of Griselda L. Pez Perez in the 1980s and then, in a bold third act, to Emma Coronel, barely 18, in 2007. Meanwhile, his ex-wives and offspring faced dark fates, trapped in the clutches of the world of drug trafficking. While Escobar and Chapo diverged in their personal entanglements, both ruthlessly projected their influence onto the global stage of crime. By the mid-1980s, Escobar had risen to the pinnacle of power, boasting status among the world's financial elite while building an empire of colossal proportions. From mansions to clandestine airstrips and a private zoo, his rule stretched across Colombia, with Medellin as the epicenter of his power. His tactics were simple but effective: silver or lead. Whether bribing politicians or eliminating his most challenging enemies, Escobar forged an empire of fear and corruption that cast a shadow over judges, politicians, journalists, and any opponent who dared challenge his authority. Despite his efforts to cloak his crimes in a veneer of charity and benevolence, to many, Escobar remained the drug lord, a hero to some and a ruthless criminal to others. Chapo's peak, El Chapo diversified. He sold not only tons of cocaine but also methamphetamine. He was producing and selling directly to the market, almost like a farm-to-table connection, but deadlier. His power in the region was growing. He had a lot of people working for him, and his empire was growing rapidly. He was the new godfather of several cartels throughout Mexico. They all answered to him. The end of Pablo Escobar. For more than a decade, Escobar had been the target of law enforcement in Colombia and various parts of the world, especially the United States. Finally, as a result of intense scrutiny and an inability to influence them as effectively as he had the Colombian government, he made a deal. He surrendered and spent 5 years in prison. The trick, however, was that he designed the private prison himself and chose its location. Taking advantage of this, Escobar built a palace, La Catedral, that had features that didn't deserve the title of prison: jacuzzis, endless rooms, a dance floor, a soccer field, and it was even more populated. This luxurious prison still ran his empire during this time and had a never-ending stream of visitors. This was house arrest, not prison. It was a step too far, according to the Colombian government, when, in 1992, he ordered the assassination of 2 of his subordinates. They were taken to his prison and killed. Then they planned to take him to a regular prison, and that's when he escaped. Everybody was looking for him, and he was finally found in 1993. They wanted him in jail, but there was a shootout, and Escobar was finally taken out for good. He was shot in the torso and leg, and he was fatally shot in the head. No one is sure if Escobar committed suicide because he knew the game was up or if one of the Colombian police officers got lucky. Either way, Escobar's reign over the Medellin cartel was over. The empire crumbled without its fearless leader, and its influence dwindled to nothing. Chapo's downfall. Finally, in 1993, Guzmán was arrested and sentenced to 20 years in a maximum security prison. He managed to bribe the guards so that he could receive constant visits and still run his empire. He escaped in 2001 by bribing a prison guard. By 2009, he had successfully expanded his empire while in hiding and had even become a billionaire. By 2012, the United States had had enough of his antics and froze his accounts, offering rewards for information. In 2014, they did. The United States wanted him, but Mexico was convinced he wouldn't escape again. They were wrong. 18 months later, he escaped through the craziest underground tunnel system ever dug. The tunnel led from the prison directly to his cell. In January 2016, Guzmán was recaptured and sent back to the same prison before finally being transferred to a facility near the border. In January 2017, he was extradited to the United States, where he remained throughout his trial. The trial lasted just over a year and resulted in El Chapo being found guilty and sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years, along with an order to pay $12.6 billion. Escobar's legacy is undeniable. He has managed to maintain a lasting presence in popular culture, with numerous television series, movies, and books telling his story. Despite being a violent and ruthless criminal, Escobar also won the support of some sectors of the Colombian population through his charity work and his Robin Hood image of robbing from the rich to give to the poor. On the other hand, El Chapo's legacy is more complex. While he has also been portrayed in several productions, his public image is not as romanticized as Escobar's. El Chapo is seen more as a cold and calculating criminal who lacks the same charisma as Escobar. In addition, unlike Escobar, El Chapo was eventually captured, extradited to the United States, and sentenced to life in prison, ending his criminal reign. So what do we conclude from all of this? El Chapo or Escobar? In terms of power and control, both drug lords had a significant impact on their country and the world. At one point, Escobar even briefly entertained the far-fetched dream of making Colombia extraditable to the United States. Guzmán, on the other hand, was so ruthless and effective in his criminal career that he came to be considered the #1 public enemy of the United States. In terms of influence, Escobar was a charismatic leader who managed to build a social support base by building neighborhoods and soccer fields. Guzmán, on the other hand, was never directly involved in politics. However, there are differences in their reach and methods. Escobar was a charismatic leader who managed to create a social base of support, while Guzmán never got directly involved in politics. But this is my opinion, so please leave yours in the comments, support us with a like, and subscribe for more videos like this.